And there is more Heartbeat next week in the last week of BFT. Now, it looks like we've got a bit of a toy cupboard here in the submarine at the moment, but we haven't. Matt Irvine is from the BBC's Visual Effects Unit. What did you just do then? You just zapped me.
I zapped you, not only with visual effects, but sound effects as well.
Very nasty. Now, we've got a whole load of stuff here, which is nothing like... We did a film on visual effects that we showed a couple of weeks ago. That was all the big stuff,
That was all the bigger stuff. So what I thought I'd bring along, perhaps some of the smaller stuff, and some stuff which perhaps is maybe a bit surprising. Now, this is Junior from Galloping Galaxies, and although obviously we all built the top of him, and he's all radio-controlled, but underneath, all he actually is a standard radio-controlled buggy you can go and buy from the shops. And because they're becoming so relatively cheap these days, we just go out and buy them and use them.
And that's what you just buy things and muck about with them.
We buy them and modify them wherever we can. There's no point in building something if you can go out and buy it.
Yeah, that's true.
But sometimes there's a lot of electronics and things getting involved. I mean, there's one over here, which I quite like, actually.
Are you going to zap me again?
I'm going to zap you again, yes. Look at that.
Thank you.
Lots of, you may just say, oh, it's flashing lights, but there's a little bit more to it than that. I mean, because there needs to be a very complex circuit inside there to get all the bulbs to flash. But I will let you a little secret that all it is just ordinary
torch bulbs.
Ordinary torch bulbs.
Now, this was used in Blake 7,
This is Blake 7. Cast your mind back a good few years.
It was on a few years ago, yeah. Now, what about this? This looks far more familiar from a sort of like massive electronic gun
This
type
is sort of
thing,
the opposite of it, I suppose. Yes, now, I said we use models and kits and things, but of course here, if you want a Lancaster, you can go and buy one. And this came from one of the Johnny Ball programmes. Now, actually, you can help me here. So you hang on to that. Don't push the button yet. And what we were doing was showing how they used...
Can I press it
geometry, no, not yet, geometry, to actually get the Lancaster above the right height above the water. So we built lights in it. You can press the light button now. There we are.
Yes!
And if the studio lights are very dark, which you won't because I'll drop the model otherwise and there'll be bits all over the floor, you would actually see that it actually would sort of make a point on the water. And that's when they knew at the right height.
Brilliant.
So educational as well.
So that's the detail that you go into there on these models. It's quite amazing. Now, some over here, very quickly you can show.
Yes, we've got Red to Ghost going at the moment.
Yeah,
this
on
is
the
Mr. Claypole's rocket, and just to save money, he had 2 rockets, Claypole 1 and Claypole 2. So that's Claypole 2. You never know the difference,
economical to the end. And finally, who's this at the front?
This is Polly Parrott. She was also from Red to Ghost, and she also is radio-controlled.
And was she a kit that you modified as well?
No, she actually, although the radio gear is straight off the shelf, we had to build her up without a plastic sheet and tape and bits and pieces like that.
Brilliant. Well, I'm going to watch some of these high-tech space-age programmes again and think totally differently about them. Matt, thank you very much for coming in. Still to come on BFT this morning. In the next hour, we have Periscope Pastimes, making things from pebbles. We've also got Double Dare, Playdays and your birthdays as well, of course. But now it's time to cross over to the newsroom for this morning's BFT News, which is read for us today by Chris Lowe.